No, the Denver Broncos cut quarterback Ben DiNucci. And while that may not feel like a big cut to you, it's a deep one for me. I'm Brandon Perna. The Broncos made a couple surprise roster moves today, including 2 trades. The Saints let a decent corner walk, which is rare. The Bills and Giants are getting frisky. And most importantly, the Colts butchered the Jonathan Taylor trade, receiving nothing for the stellar back other than the guarantee he won't play for 4 weeks. So let's dive into how badly they fucked that up. It's good sports. Hey, a great way to support this channel is purchasing my coffee over at BenchwarmerBrew.com. This is the loser's blend. It's for losers, like me. Seriously, it's good coffee. Just go buy some. Just buy a fucking bag of my coffee, you cucks. Fucking just get it. Come on. Do you like coffee? Or do you get up in the morning without any caffeine and are just perky? If that's you, I don't want your business because you're weird. Most of us need some caffeine. Go get your caffeine. It's a drug. Coffee's a legal drug. Go buy my coffee! Well, the Mac Jones hot seat officially cool as the Patriots cut both quarterbacks Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham. Now, Zappi looked nice in his 2 starts for New England last year, completing 71% of his passes. We thought for a minute there he might become the starter. That makes McCorkle Jones the guy, literally the only quarterback on the roster at the moment for the Patriots, which is odd considering all the quarterbacks they drafted and shuffled around when Tom Brady was there. Like, they had the most secure quarterback ever, and now they've got Mac Jones and like, we don't need any QBs on the roster behind him. Regardless, I've ripped McCorkle in the past because I find his style of play boring. And he's a dirty player, but I think he's going to have an under-the-radar, very solid season there, and this suggests Bill believes in him. Von Miller will start the season on the physically unable to perform list. May I suggest Viagra with the Blue Chew Chaser, Von? This means Von will miss 4 games of the season as he continues to recover from his torn ACL. That occurred week 12 of last year. The fact that a 34-year-old man isn't fully recovered from an ACL injury in less than a year should surprise no one. What is a bit surprising is that the Bills traded away the guy that was going to help while Von was out of the lineup in defensive end Boogie Basham. Just on principle, I would never trade a man named Boogie Basham because it's badass. Now the Giants, who I thought were pretty set up front with Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and Kayvon Thibodeau, added more beef at the edge with 273-pound Boogie Basham. Maybe that's why Buffalo dealt him. He's kind of heavy to be a true edge guy. That and Shaq Lawson is there, but he seems like a better fit for the 4-3 Bills as opposed to the 3-4 defense in New York. And I know that shit changes, but still. Boogie was a 2nd-round pick for the Bills, which is becoming a curse at this point. I think there's only upside here for the Giants, and with Brian Daboll and Joe Shane coming over from Buffalo last offseason, you have to think they have a good read on Boogie, who in primetime games can be called Boogie Nights, but only when he gets a sack. The Carolina Panthers cut guard Michael Jordan, who famously scored a touchdown last season after Sam Darnold fumbled the ball to him in the end zone. Sam Darnold literally fumbled 2 touchdowns last year, which is wildly impressive. If I'm the Chicago Bears, who could definitely use more depth on their offensive line, I'd sign Michael Jordan yesterday. The last time Michael Jordan left Carolina, he won 6 fucking championships in Chicago. Ben DiNucci, huge fan of my show, was vying for the QB3 spot in Denver. The Nooch had just finished a great season with the Seattle Dragons of the XFL in the spring, which kept him fresh for his QB competition here in Denver, and he played decent with the Broncos. However, they decided to only keep 2 quarterbacks on the roster. It will be Russell Wilson and Jarrett Stidham. While this sucks for all of us DiNucci heads out there, it did allow the Denver Broncos to keep Albert Okwuegbunam. Wait, what's that? Wait, what? Oh, it didn't? We're trading Albert O to the Eagles? What the fuck? DiNucci. Okay, so Albert O is going to Philly with the 7th round draft pick in exchange for a 6th rounder coming back to the Broncos. And I fully expect the savvy Eagles to make this trade look absolutely stupid for the Broncos. For all intents and purposes, Albert O has been a bust in Denver, but we fans love him because we see flashes of how athletic he is. He's never had more than 2 touchdowns in a season, and yet we're like, this year baby is the one for Albert O. Now, Albert O is a pass-catching tight end, and his lack of ability in the blocking game is why he became expendable in Denver. With Sean Payton here as head coach, they are going to run the ball, and Mark Schlereth broke down a play that Albert O got absolutely worked on at the goal line to highlight why he was traded.
All you have to do is stab this guy in the middle and build a wall. That's what you're asked to do, okay? Pretty simple block. As a matter of fact, the easiest block on the field right now. Here's Albert O. You tell me if this is want to. This train killer, does he want to be in there? I mean, come on. You're 6'5", 260.
Now you can trust an ex-NFL lineman if you want, or you can trust me, who says Albert O actually allowed that dude to bull rush him across the line because it's just as effective as blocking there. Now, Philly has the best line in the NFL, so they don't need an extra tight end to fucking block for them, which is why this is a nice ad for Philly. Also, Eagles fans, this is how you say his name.
Albert Okwuegbunam. Albert Okwuegbunam.
Denver also cut kicker Brett Maher and traded for Saints kicker Wil Lutz. 3 things you need to know about Wil Lutz. 1, he only uses 1 L in Will. Don't trust that for a second. Because of Philip 1L Rivers. 2, he has a big leg. 3, last season was by far his worst season in the league. Worse than the one Brandon McManus had. Lutz did hit a 60-yarder in a clutch spot against Minnesota and made all 33 of his extra points. Now, Lutz missed all of 2021 with an injury, so 2 years removed from that injury heading into this season. I think the thought is he'll be back to normal and hopefully an upgrade at the position as he picks up being the very good kicker he was in 2018 and 2019. That's a big if, though. After the Cardinals released Colt McCoy yesterday, new head coach Jonathan Gannon said he doesn't know who's going to start week 1 for a competitive advantage. Currently, the Cardinals have Josh Dobbs and rookie Clayton Tune on the roster. Dobbs just arrived with the team, so Gannon is deciding between the man who will have 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks, to learn the entire playbook, or the 5th round rookie who's never thrown a regular season pass. Gannon said he wanted to keep a competitive advantage. Okay, Gannon. Everyone knows you're tanking you. We also know you're going to start the quarterback you think will give you the best chance to lose. Stop lying. I love Josh Dobbs. I'm a dauber. I am a dauber, okay? I hate that he was traded to Arizona, but I am happy for his opportunity, and I pray to the football gods that he goes out there and gets Arizona a couple wins and ruins their fucking Caleb Williams plans. You made your bed with Kyler Murray, Arizona, now lie in it. No more do-overs. You screwed over Josh Rosen for Kyler. You paid Kyler, so put your jammies on and get in that child-sized race car bed and figure out how to make it work. Usually I sympathize with the underdogs, but you need to put down because you're fucking annoying me, Arizona. A big winner that happened late yesterday, corner Isaiah Rodgers, who was signed by the Eagles. If you recall, Rodgers was released by the Colts after he got caught making those NFL sports bets and was suspended indefinitely. Philly just stashed him on the reserve suspended list, and we'll have a pretty solid corner in 2024 if he gets reinstated to the NFL, which he probably will. So why the fuck didn't the Colts just do that? Don't ask me. It's not like they're oozing with talent in that secondary. The Saints tried to trade corner Bradley Roby today, but failed to do so and then just had to release him. Now, Roby, he's heading into his 10th season in the NFL, and he's had a very solid career at corner. He was a key piece for the 2015 Broncos Super Bowl defense as a slot corner, playing between Aqib Talib and Chris Harris. Last season was not his best year, and I think the biggest issue for him or any corner is age. He's now 31. The crazy part, though, is the Broncos have a question mark at their nickel corner position with K'Wan Williams and his injury. I'd take a flyer on Roby to add depth there. but I also may be living in the past. The big story, the Colts. They created a trade deadline for Jonathan Taylor, which was today, and no trade was made. How did the Colts whiff on the Jonathan Taylor situation? Did they whiff? Yes. The honest answer is it depends. It depends on if they can trade him during the season. Indianapolis officially put him on the PUP list. Well, he's on it. He's staying on the PUP. So like Von Miller, he has to miss the first 4 games of the season no matter what. Taylor hasn't been practicing because of an alleged lingering ankle issue. Taylor did have surgery on that ankle all the way back in January. The specifics of that surgery from NFL.com were an orthopedic debridement. A debridement is an ankle surgery? I thought that's what happened to a virgin bride on her wedding night. Or is that when the bride leaves the groom at the altar? Anyway, it was a minimally invasive procedure to clean out the ankle. It was extremely successful, Taylor said, with the doctor finding no structural damage. A pretty simple surgery that should have been fully recovered 4 to 6 weeks out. So many believe Taylor was using the ankle as leverage, a leverage tactic to prove he was serious about holding out. Well, now he's on the PUP list and stuck with Indy for at least a month. This situation might not look that bad if Josh Jacobs didn't return to the Raiders and if Saquon Barkley was still holding out. Taylor still wants to be traded. And according to everyone I asked on Twitter, you can be traded while on the PUP list. You just have to finish out your stay on the PUP list for the full allotted time. 4 weeks, whatever it is here. So let's say if Taylor is dealt to Miami in a week, he will still have to pretend to be hurt for a month before he can play. That's good, considering Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has no problem lying. Now that's relevant because Taylor can be traded at any point this season all the way up until October 31st at 4 p.m. Halloween, trick or treat, bitch. Now I mention that because we all should have known that this deadline Jim Irsay gave Jonathan Taylor to find a trade deal was just BS. We all sat around Twitter though like idiots waiting for the news to happen before 4 p.m. Eastern, all while knowing that the deadline was arbitrary. It was real in that the Colts had to decide to put him on the PUP list by that time, which suggests they know he has no intention of playing for them right now. Now this sucks for Colts fans who are trying to be excited about Anthony Richardson, while also knowing that the best player prior to Richardson's arrival on offense wants nothing to do with the team unless Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard, who are notoriously cheap, pay the man what he wants, and it doesn't look like that will happen. Indy is top 10 in cap space right now. They will be top 5 in cap space in 2024, so they can afford it. I've said that a dozen times. Chris Ballard was considered a great GM for a while, remember? But every GM looks great when they have a quarterback. Andrew Luck's abrupt retirement really screwed them, okay? But since then, I'm not sure how much credit he deserves, other than probably preventing Jim Irsay from doing 100% of the crazy shit he really wants to do. Limiting Irsay to 20% of the crazy stuff, actually, that's pretty respectable. Good job, Chris. Now, it feels like Irsay and Ballard just need to put aside their egos, overspend in their eyes for Taylor these next 2 seasons while they can afford to do it and while he will be in his prime. Be the team that paid the running back while he was still good. No team is going to give them a first, and I doubt a second. Clearly, the best and easiest thing to do here is just pay Jonathan Taylor for his production and stop using Pat McAfee as your propaganda machine to say Jonathan Taylor should have been a better leader in the Colts locker room to prevent the Colts from imploding over the last couple seasons.
Yo, bro. 4th overall pick, and while you were one of the leaders of the team, the entire culture of the Indianapolis Colts kind of went to shit.
Imagine saying or suggesting that crazy shit when that team fired a real head coach in Frank Reich mid-season and then hired Jeff Saturday, who had absolutely no real head coaching experience. Maybe Indy does something while Taylor is out, but throwing Richardson in there with Evan Hull, Deion Jackson, and Zach Moss to start the season It's just a dick move. On top of that, outside of Michael Pittman, Richardson has no explosive weapons on offense. Maybe that's rookie Josh Downs, but that's a lot to put on a small rookie receiver who isn't even that fast for being that small. If I'm Anthony Richardson, I might bet my rookie salary on the under of total games I'm going to start this year, and then just wait for the NFL to suspend me for a gap year so my owner and GM can figure some shit out. The Colts literally have done the least to try and help their rookie quarterbacks succeed. So, great job, Colts. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Come back again every day to this YouTube channel to see what video I put up that you need to see. That's how YouTube works.